Alright guys, I want to give the news a little bit of time before popping my ult and going all in, but this is what we have right now, and the first thing I want to lead off with is Bruxish. Now, a lot of people are already like, oh, this is an ugly Pokemon, and to a degree, yes it is, but at the same time, when you think about the design aspects, it's like an intentionally poorly designed Pokemon in a way, because like, look at Feebas, so maybe it evolves into something cool, or maybe it's just a single stage. I mean, it's our love disc of the region, so can you fault it? Let's go and see what happens, but this is what caught me off guard, is that when I was clicking on the other videos, it doesn't really show English anything, it just does the battle text, and it cuts around to this. But Bruxish is different than all of them, because it actually is in English. Like, this shows that this leak goes a lot deeper than we thought. It's not like someone from inside the company, someone with footage. This seems like a beta tester went rogue. And then looking at this, I guess that's Russian. So it was like someone that was beta testing in another region, unless they just kind of slapped that on in the beginning. I don't know. Either way, it was a foreign beta test that ended up just dumping some information right here before it came out. So somebody's in trouble right now. And also, like, that's why it's really interesting to see this in English, because all we have right now is the Japanese leak, which has everything Japanese, so it's harder to translate. But that's why we can see Bruxish's Dazzling ability right here, which actually just nullifies priority moves. Now, I don't know if this works in doubles, because if it does, that's actually pretty crazy. And a lot of what's going on right here actually shows that Game Freak might be attempting to balance for double battles in a way, because, like, okay, we have Bruxish's Dazzling, but we also have Tapukoko. Tapukoko electrifies the field, which makes it to where Electric-type moves do 50% more damage, and that Pokemon cannot be put to sleep. So, bye-bye Dark Void if you use Tapukoko in a battle, and it seems to be a usable legendary Pokemon, that it's not like a main box legendary. It doesn't seem to be mythical legendary because it's a straight up Guardian. So just like how people spam Landorus, now people might be spamming Tapukoko as an anti sleeping strategy, which might reduce the usage of Dark Void Smeargle or something like that, just because it'd be a lot of risk to bring it if they lead Tapukoko and then your Smeargle gets absolutely shut out, and then you have a lot of damage. Also, Tapukoko boosts its own damage, so 50% plus 50%, so you're doing 2.25 times more damage on stab moves, which is very nice. It's like adaptability plus. I don't know if that's going to mean that field conditions go away or anything like that, but Bruxish's Dazzling, maybe it works in doubles as well. That means Fake Out, completely just nullified, and if it becomes a useful Pokemon, then that'll be something to show right there. Now, I did want to go and, like, pull up Cerebi and stuff, because, like, alright, I wanted to wait just a little bit on this to see if we got any, like, more information or update. Alright, so we do have pictures of the Pokemon, but it doesn't... do we have, like, all the abilities right now? No, it hasn't updated all the abilities for each Pokemon, but I think I broke it down just right. So we have new Pokemon, new abilities, and new attacks page. So we can check this out. The new attacks are going to be Fleur Cannon. Well, that is going to be on Magearna. And then we have Corn Forcer, that's Zygarde. Corn Forcer, I'm just going to call Z version attack from now on. Also, you guys can't see anything, can you? Right, because Cerebi has a... I don't want to say bad layout. It's just hard to, like, scale it up really well. So there we go. We're just going to have this temporarily here for a bit. And you can still kind of see me. Hi, guys. So what we have is Fleur Cannon, Leaf Age, and Moongeist Beam, Nature Fury. So Nature Fury is going to be Tapukoko. So we don't know anything about it. Effect deals damage. So we do get one new move out of all this because of Nature Fury. And it doesn't, we don't have too much else with that. But Tapukoko, as a Guardian, seems, wow, this is actually being really interesting right now because it shows a lot more focus on, you know, Guardians on the region, on, like, preserving things. Either way, that's what we have right there. But then when we go to the abilities, we can see that there are new abilities, but not every Pokemon that was shown has a new ability. So we have Dazzle and Frenzy, as well as the Elekamaker, which is Electric Terrain being sent out. So that's Tapukoko's ability. We pretty much knew that. Dazzle, or Dazzling, we just saw that, prevents moves with increased priority from hitting. And then we have Frenzy. Now, Frenzy belongs to, if I can do it, this guy, Drampa. So we have Drampa right here. I think Drampa's interesting. I feel Drampa will grow on people more, and it's kind of like Never-Ending Story Dragon, but in Pokemon, but a little different. Either way, it has the Frenzy ability. Increases special attack when activated. Activation means unknown. Now, the interesting thing about Drampa is that when we watch its ability activate, two things happen. That Flygon is using Dragon Claw, so that's a super effective hit, but at the same time, the ability is activating. So does it activate off of super hits, or does it activate off of being in critical health? Because that makes sense for Frenzy. I'm hurt, going to Rage, hopefully things die kind of idea, you know, something like that. But now we actually see what this ability does. However, these are the only new abilities on the page. And then we also have Togedemaru. Now, this was interesting because the ability right here seems to be Lightning Rod. That if we just watch what happens, you know, Emolga goes for an attack, it whiffs, an ability activates, I don't read Japanese, and then it gains stats. So I'm guessing Lightning Rod, you know, electric type attack, electric Pokemon, statting it up right there. And I did screw up in my last video because I thought like, oh man, wouldn't that be crazy if it was normalized, but not steel typing right there. I did mention this later on in the video. And then also Emolga is electric flying, so it would hit neutrally anyways. Either way, stats, and I think it's adorable. It's a ball, and then it spikes, and then it's electricity. It's like if you took Jolteon and put it into a ball and then mixed it with Pikachu. That's why I like it so much. So we got our Pika clone, and I think it's pretty cute. I like it. Other things I wanted to break down was that I think with the abilities, that's kind of it. With increased priority could maybe be used competitively. But we're getting a ton of new abilities already. As for the next batch of Pokemon, Grubbin evolutions. So at first, when I just saw the brick, I was a little off-put, but now I'm thinking about it, it's actually pretty cool. So Grubbin, you know, it's like horn beetle larvae thing, and then when it evolves, it becomes a lot more serious. So let's go and try to find this thing right there. So that's Tapukoko. He's doing his own thing, and there's the Nature Fury move that we still don't know too much else about. It hurts, and it does things, and it was intentionally cut out. Like, it didn't show that it hit super effective or not, I believe, and it might have had some kind of status. Now, here's the thing. People are calling this thing, like, it looks like a bus. And it does look like a bus. Like, there's windshield wipers, and it has eyes, and you can see, like, some kind of emotion coming out of this Pokemon. But the joke is that it's a USB bus. Because I was like, wait a second, this thing kind of looks like one of those USB bricks that, you know, you charge your phone in, and it's like a portable battery for USB devices. I mean, that seems like the square peg that you put it into, and it's a bus, but they're also referred to as, you know, USB terminals, USB buses. So maybe that's the joke. And then, you know, we still have the horns, so it resembles Grubbin, and then it evolves into the electric typing, which was hinted at with Grubbin's lore, in that, you know, it's fond of electricity and stuff like that. Also, it has eyes, so you can see it get all meany-eyed right there, and then it evolves. So just in case that there was any confusion or any kind of doubt, you know, that's going to be the evolution right there. It keeps, you know, craziness going on right there, and I like it. It has like a very mech style feel, but it's an electric type Pokemon, so it makes a lot of sense. So Bug Electric does its own little thing right there. I don't think we see much on the ability. We just see it does damage, and that looks like a special attack. So done right there. And then he just kind of pops in like, hey guys, what's up? And Disney Dragon in Pokemon that's like mixed with Yoshi's story. I think it's cool though, because if you look at it, it has a lot of personality. That, you know, he does his own little things. Like, he's actually, it looks like he's, like, holding his arms in like that, and then when he attacks, he's like, rawr. Yeah, just rawr, and then he shakes around a bit. So, I think it's cool. And you can see, like, all the animations right here as they scroll by really fast. But, yeah, he, like, does a little, you know, charge attack in right here. Again, this Pokemon's meant to be ugly, like a Feebas kind of thing, and it has pretty colors, and it's meant to be over-stylized, because all tropical fish are over-stylized. And it's absolutely ferocious. I mean, look at that bite down. My goodness. I guess it also has like a fake anemone on its head to lure prey that it just mutilates. Destroyed right there. Bug Fairy's interesting. We don't really know too much else about it. It does the thing. It might get Quiver Dance when it evolves, and cool stuff. Now Zygarde. So I did bring up Zygarde earlier. Zygarde is crazy when it goes into its complete form, because now we get to see the stats. I don't remember if we saw the stats before, but what happens is when you're at low health, like when you get critical, I think it even says that right here, that changes the Zygarde form in a pinch. So in a pinch is red health effectively. Things start going crazy because it gains health. So it gains a base stat total, and that's like the first time this happens for forms in battle. Like when Ditto transforms, it doesn't gain any health. It stays at its base health. Same with Mega Evolution. So seeing this is very unusual. But right there, for a split second, if I can actually catch it, 291, it actually gains a huge amount of base hit points. Now, when I read this first, I thought it was 191, because it's like, no, why did a Pokemon get such an absurd amount of boost to its health? But we have 291 right here, and then we have Zygarde, and when Zygarde gets hit, we can see that has 183 health. So we're gaining over 100 hit points just in a pinch. So boom, suddenly we get to go off, and that's kind of ridiculous right there. But I decided to do the math. So when we look at Zygarde at level 50, 108 base hit points, 183. Wait, what was that again? That was 183. So no EVs, but max IVs, which is weird because last time when they show, like, at first it looked like they were just doing base Pokemon, like 0 IVs, 0 EVs, just in the rawest form, but now we're starting to see that it's not necessarily that way, that sometimes they have IVs, sometimes they don't, sometimes they have over, so there's a little bit of EV investment, so it's kind of all crazy. However, we can say that with the way that this video plays out, that this is the same exact Zygarde in the battle, that, you know, it activates, and then it grows up, and then it gets the stats, and then it has a ton more hit points. That's why right over here, I decided to go and break it down even more, and it shows a really interesting trend, that 291, which is Zygarde completes hit points, then 216. So what happens is it doubles its base hit points, because it goes from 108 to 216, and that actually makes sense. So I was wondering, like, why is such a weird number? I'm like, what is this? It's going to be like 230, right? No, it's a little more. What about 210? That's a little less. I'm like, would it be an odd number? Or, like, not necessarily an odd number, but, you know, it seems like when you're playing with base stats, it's more common to see 5s, 10s, nice divisible by 5 number right there. But 216 actually saves it because you go 108, 216, double health, gain a lot of free stuff, and that all lines up with like how much bonus health Zygarde gains and how much the activation gets. But this is crazy. Just how many hit points it gets. I mean, what if you can actually play it out? Like you either see a super effective hit coming in, you have a focus sash on your Zygarde, or something like that, because what you do is you use Wish, you switch in, Zygarde gets hit into critical, and then it goes up and gains a ton of hit points, and then Wish activates, and now it's back at full, and it's a 216 base hit point Pokemon. That's pretty ridiculous. So maybe some combos coming in. It is a legendary Pokemon, so it's not going to be as usable, so we're not going to see it too much. But overall, these stats are really fun to look at, and it's like, what is going on right here? Other than that, I think we broke down all the Pokemon. So yeah, we just got Dragon, Ground Pokemon. Tapukoko's doing his own little thing. I think he's actually pretty cool. That when we first see Tapukoko come in, and it's like in its Tiki form thing. So it's like gameplay right here, which is pretty neat. And then activates, and people are talking about it. And waboom. I think it does some cool things like this. Like, it has a fighting style to it, but at the same time, the design is a little interesting. Like, I think when you take all of this in, it works out a lot better as a Pokemon, but if you just see, like, this screenshot and just it in battle, not so much, honestly. I think it's still a cool design. Like, a lot of people were ripping on the designs, and it's like, you know, not every design, like, not every Pokemon game generation is going to have absolutely wonderful designs all the way, but this is like a really weird batch right now, honestly, because I love Pick-a-Peck, and I freaking love Awanko. Like, all these Pokemon, and all the starters have been really nice as well. So now we get some weird ones, and then I think the fish threw everyone off. Like, it's like, okay, this doesn't feel like a Pokemon right here, this guy, but he's still pretty cool, and has, like, his own dragon kind of-ness to him going on, and then you just get assaulted by this fish visually, and it doesn't feel as great. Water Psychic's going to be interesting. I don't think that's going to be super competitive on a typing aspect, but it might become something. And now, since this is going to be a top 10 video, let's go and do the 2 honorable mentions, because technically these guys are newly released Pokemon. So we have Yungoos right here, and we have Pick-a-Peck, and there we go. So Pick-a-Peck and Yungoos are cool. They were already released. And then Grubbin, see, he's a part of this video too, because now he works out with these guys. And I'm pretty sure that, like, all the bug type fans really enjoy this. Like, I've already seen A-Drive, like, call it dibs, you know, because that works out really well. It's like, you have to be, it feels, okay, I just realized something. This feels like Mega Pinsir and then Heracross, like, put together into one Pokemon. And maybe that's why people like it so much. Now, hopefully it's super competitive. Like, it seems like it's going to be very fast. Oh god, it's going to get speed boost, isn't it? That'd be devastating. Either way, huge amount of attack, huge whatever it does, and then it just cannon. Yeah, like, it has a freaking, like, bug horn cannon, just brah, and then things die. So if you guys enjoyed the video, a little bit more of a breakdown right now, just reacting to the news initially, and now we can actually, like, there's more information. We have the abilities. I'm going to last second, you know, refresh this, because maybe it would confirm that Togedemaru has the lightning rod ability, but other than that, we don't really know too much else at this time. Now, it's very unclear at this point. We don't know if this was the news that was supposed to come out on July 1st, or if this is the news that we have now, because yeah, it came out earlier than a day. It was supposed to be, I think, 10 a.m. Pacific time, so my time, and it ended up coming out like 3 a.m. the day before, so well over 24 hours ahead of schedule, even with Japan time zones and stuff. So this seems like it should have been the July leak. If we still get news tomorrow, that'll be really interesting, but we also still have a lot of other things going on. So there was the Pokinchi show. The Pokinchi show has already, like, if you've seen it, there's like a piece of paper on the table and it has a question mark on it. I'm guessing that might be Tapukoko, since it seems like a Pokemon that's already relevant to this. So, or it could be a completely new Pokemon. We don't know. So we'll find out about Pokinchi then. We have the Japan Expo in France coming up. That's going to be on the 7th. So a week from now, we might get more. We might just get one random new Pokemon. We might get two. We might get a little bit more elaboration right here. Then a couple days after that, we have Korokoro. Now, I don't know what Korokoro is going to have. It seems like they're going to promise new information as always. So we might get a couple more Pokemon. As I keep showing like all these news videos, if we go back to Pokemon X and Y, like new Pokemon released all the time. It's like, by the way, the day before Korokoro, there was this, and then Korokoro revealed this, and then a week after there was this. So we could get like 10 new Pokemon in a month until the game comes out, and that wouldn't be absurd. Now, I don't see too many evolution opportunities here, like unless Drampa has a pre-evolution, but this seems like Victory Road. He was level 43 in a seemingly wild encounter, so there's that. Cutiefly definitely has evolutions, but I want to see better designs now, honestly. Like, this isn't terrible, but I want to see the rest of the region kind of have a little more going for it. But that also shows like Korokoro could reveal some new Pokemon. Are we going to find out about Iwanko's secret? Because that's what it said, like the starter Pokemon Iwanko all have a secret, but they're not the Guardians because Tapukoko has been officially shown right here. And then we just get news on top of news on top of news, and then I'll see you next month at the beginning of the month we have more news, and then Korokoro. And then before we know it, the game will come out. Maybe we'll get some more gameplay mechanics. There's a lack of evolutions for existing Pokemon. Now, they might do it like Diamond Pearl, which is its own thing right there. But other than that, we don't have too much else going for it. I think that's it. I don't think there's much else to talk about this time, and I'll see you guys next time. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. This is what the Pokemon do, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh my god, if this seems useful, I'm totally calling it Triggered Fish. That'd be hilarious.